Hi, today I would like to discuss a question that has often been put to me. The question about communication. How to communicate effectively and why communications break down. Today, let us focus upon why communications break down. If we understand that, then we shall be able to understand how to communicate effectively. One of the most fundamental reasons why communications break down is because of differing points of view. Let's take an example. You and I might be looking at the same elephant. I am standing in front of the elephant, and you are standing at the back of the elephant. When we describe what we are seeing, I shall describe the two large ears and the large curling trunk. You, on the other hand, shall talk of the small tail and the two large, strong legs. You and I, of course, shall disagree because your viewpoint is not my viewpoint. This is the fundamental reason. If we are able to recognize that one situation can have two or more differing viewpoints, and all of these are right, then we shall solve a large number of disagreements. Recognizing that everyone has a viewpoint, recognizing that there is a validity in everyone's viewpoint, and then reaching out and attempting to see the validity of that differing viewpoint brings resolution and removes all conflict. The second part of a conflict resolution is an understanding that disagreement does not need to lead to conflict. When there are two persons, there is very likely to be more than one viewpoint. That is important to not only understand but to accept. You may disagree, but that does not mean that you disrespect. Another may disagree with you, but that does not mean that they are undervaluing you. Accepting that each one has their own emotions, that each one has their own beliefs and conditionings, and that from these arise differing viewpoints and perspectives, shall help you to lead a life that is free of fighting, that is free of acrimony, and that is free of confrontation. Let's look at another aspect which leads to communication breakdown. And this is the aspect of listening. Communication is not just about speaking. Communication is also about listening. How we listen is very, very important. My loved ones have sometimes pointed out to me that I do not listen because I get defensive. When I have heard them say this to me, it has not been very pleasant, but on respectful contemplation on what they have said, I have realized that that is quite true. And this, dear friends, is true for almost all of us. As soon as we hear something that we believe is critical or fault-finding, our guards go up, and instantly we interrupt what they are saying and go, but let me explain, but that's not the way it was. Instead of this, let us allow the other person to finish completely. Let us listen very intently to all that has been said. Do not get defensive. Do not attempt to justify yourself or your actions. You shall find that if you are truly listening and not interrupting, you will take away from that conversation a wealth of insights. Insights that will help you to better yourself as a person, and insights that will help your relationships. And now let's move on to an aspect of expression. If we do not express ourselves adequately, honestly, freely, we cannot expect the other person to get where we are coming from. Remember, the other person is not a mind reader. And what may seem very obvious to you may really not be obvious at all to the other person. Do you remember the elephant that we were both looking at? To me, the trunk is very obvious. But from where you stand, you cannot see the trunk at all. So it's not that obvious, is it? Speak what you need to. Express yourself. Express your feelings. Express your viewpoint. Let the other person know entirely what it is that you need from them. If you stay quiet, expecting the other person to interpret your silence in the manner that you wish it to be interpreted, it's almost certain that you shall be disappointed, that you shall even be annoyed and frustrated. Don't leave it to their interpretation. Be clear. Be emphatic when you need to be, but not aggressive. Haven't you noticed that when someone else is aggressive with you, your walls go up and you become so defensive that all communication breaks down? Similarly, when you are aggressive towards another, their walls shall also go up. Being emphatic, being assertive, does not need you to raise your voice, does not need you to be abusive, insulting, or humiliating. If you can keep these 4 aspects in mind, you shall find that your communications shall improve quite substantially. Happy communications. God bless you.